Coming up on City Source, the North Texas Food Bank's mobile pantry returns to Irving, and this time it's in a new location. Animal services officers work to make sure pets are not forgotten during this time of higher need. And a business steps up to recognize the efforts of essential city employees. Also, we have expert guests to talk about why domestic violence cases may be on the increase. And we'll talk about the impact on local nonprofits. Now on City Source. Hello and welcome to City Source as we continue to follow Irving's response to COVID-19. I'm Thomas Gandy. In our top story today, non-essential retail stores, restaurants, movie theaters, and malls may choose to reopen after Texas Governor Greg Abbott let the statewide stay-at-home order expire. Under a new order, those businesses I listed will be limited to 25% occupancy. Keep in mind that social distancing, face coverings, and hand washing are all still very important. In the coming days, the state will be monitoring to see if the reopenings lead to new cases of COVID-19. If not, the governor could allow more businesses to reopen in mid-May. For city facilities, here's what we know so far. On May 6th, the South Irving and Valley Ranch libraries will resume drive-through service. The West Irving Library will offer curbside delivery of items. On May 4th, the Hunter Farrell landfill reopens. Masks will be required for all visitors and customers. The Irving Golf Club has already reopened with new distancing and safety protocols. In the meantime, with many people out of work, the need for the basics becomes a big issue for some families. The North Texas Food Bank has held several local events to distribute food to people in need. And the latest was at North Lake College. Take a look.
Your heart goes out.
On this clear day, it's easy to see the long lines that are now familiar whenever the North Texas Food Bank's mobile pantry visits Irving.
The need is spread out across all the 13 counties that we serve, so we're trying to hit as many pockets as we can.
What is different this time is the location in Irving, North Lake College.
What is great about North Lake is they have large parking lots, so we can pull a lot of the vehicles off of MacArthur, off our main streets, so that it doesn't cause those huge traffic hazards.
How many people in your household?
The North Texas Food Bank has the support of the Texas National Guard to run this distribution. They will be giving out about 7,500 boxes of food on this day. Some Irving employees are also here to help out however they can.
We just like being a part of that.
Officer Jill Smith is among about 20 Irving police officers working the event. So what's your role today?
I am roving on the bike, so any of our people that need any relief anywhere, we'll go help them out with that, bring water, or take over their spot if they need a break.
One of the officers' main responsibilities is traffic control.
One thing we don't have right now going on is schools. So our school resource officers, they're the ones that are assigned out here. Our community services division, we're not doing our community outreach programs right now. So those officers that would be doing those jobs are now out here assisting on this.
We heard similar stories from employees of other city departments. With some facilities closed and programs canceled, teams are finding new ways to stay busy and make a difference.
I know a lot of people are down right now under the circumstances. It's a great opportunity to be out here and help.
You probably see there's a big need.
There is a big need, and I'm glad that people are stepping up and helping each other and doing the right thing. So I'm excited to be a part of that.
And there are ways everyone can get involved. The North Texas Food Bank is always working to replenish its supplies. NTFB.org has the specifics.
There you can find ways to donate food or donate funds to help this cause.
And when you get to see it up close and personal, you truly realize the impact that this pandemic has had on our city, on our state, and the country.
From up close and even on a wider view, they see the needs of the community, and groups are pulling together to respond.
It just lets you know the city of Irving is a strong community.
To find out where the next food pantry will be, go to ntfb.org/mobile pantry. As more people face furloughs and layoffs, nonprofits see an increase in demand. Here to talk more about this is Irving Care CEO Kyle Taylor. He is also an Irving City Councilman. Thank you for being here, Kyle.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate getting a chance to talk about what we're doing and the needs in the community.
Yeah, and that gets right into the first question, the broad topic of what kind of trends are you seeing at Irving Cares?
So the biggest trends we're seeing, first off, when it first started, when this thing was the demand for food. And as we worked through that and saw a 36% increase in our food requests, the other thing was information. was where to get accurate information. What can you do? What can you not do? And then now we're moving into less of that, more into financial security of rents, utilities, that sort of thing. Food demand is kind of leveled off for us, but we're starting to see that demand for financial assistance. And what we're starting to see a big uptake too is employment and job workforce training.
Yeah, when you talk about training and donations, of course, it takes people to fulfill those requests. What steps are you taking to protect volunteers and caseworkers?
So as of right now, we don't have any of our volunteers here. We normally run about 320 volunteers a month. But right now, most of them are staying home and staying safe. We're starting to see them slowly come back. But what we're doing is we've got masks, we've got gloves. We're really practicing social distancing. We're really taking advantage of the big lobby that we have. The really cool thing and interesting thing is a lot of the folks coming to us for help are all wearing masks and gloves. So if somebody does come to us and they don't have a mask, we will provide those masks for us. The community's been really great to provide us some protection equipment for us to be able to use, not just for us, but to the folks coming to get help. Myself at Irving Cares, we have 9 employees. 2 of our employees have lost folks to COVID-19. So just stay safe, be patient. It is a sacrifice, but that's how we'll get through this and get fully reopen faster.
Yeah, definitely some good advice, and sorry to hear about your employees that are affected there at Irving Cares.
You know, when it starts to hit you personally and hits the folks you work with, it becomes serious really quick.
You mentioned some of the big outpouring of donations, that you're giving out a lot of food and people are coming to you for financial help. Tell me about the intake as well. Are you taking in enough to take care of those donations that are going out, and how can people help?
Well, we look at this as a natural disaster, and the community outpour towards us, and I know to many of the other organizations, has been wonderful. And a lot of people have stepped up. A lot of the faith-based groups and other folks are doing feeding points. We know this is going to be a marathon. We know it's not going to be over soon. So we're trying to be as consistent with what we're doing, try to maintain what we do so those funds that are given to us and the work that we can do can continue for the long run.
And irvingcares.org is the place to help, correct?
irvingcares.org. You can go on there. You can give. We have a number of folks that have donated just for rental assistance, just for food. You can tell us how you want us to use your money. We honor that request.
Got it. Good information on that. And let me talk to you for a moment as your role as an Irving City Councilman. I know you're very accessible and hear from a lot of residents. What are the biggest questions you're hearing right now from residents?
So the biggest question right now is, when are we going to reopen back up? There's some concerns, of course, about small business owners, medium-sized business owners, about getting back and getting income in and getting worried about meeting their responsibilities and providing payroll for folks. The biggest concern right now is, how do we open up? Do we open up safely? But we need to open up, but we need to protect everybody. So they're looking for leaders and leadership to provide that direction and guidance for them to be able to move forward.
You just touched on the economic challenges for businesses, but what about for the city? What financial impact is the coronavirus having on the city of Irving?
Well, you know, the city of Irving really relies on its sales tax. And when businesses are closed, the city doesn't get that revenue. So the challenges moving forward for the city is going to be continuing to maintain the level of service that we provide for City Hall and that our residents request and expect, while yet maintaining and trying to maintain a tax base for those folks as we come through this, to make sure that income that we're getting coming in, it's fair and equitable and used right. That's been another concern that's come up, is, how's this going to affect my tax base? What are y'all going to do? But the thing is, to making sure we maintain public safety, streets, water, everybody's safe, everybody's healthy, and try to make those strategic decisions as we look at more than likely running a pretty good sized deficit coming out of this budget cycle based on the loss of sales tax. How do we move forward and continue with the level of services that we're providing?
Definitely some big decisions and some important issues to work through, especially as budget season kicks off. Irving City Councilman and Irving Cares CEO Kyle Taylor, thanks for being with us during this very busy time.
Well, I appreciate you offering me the chance to visit, talk a little bit about what's going on in the city and at Irving Cares, and just want everybody out there to wash your hands, be safe, and take care of each other.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. And the quickest way to help Irving Cares is through the website. To donate online, go to irvingcares.org. So we have talked about nonprofits, and in some cases it is the business community stepping up. We found a big example of that at Infreda on Interstate 635 in Irving.
These 2 lanes are going to come through here.
In the final moments before a massive food giveaway begins,
I'll take care of these over here.
the traffic control and the food are ready,
Ram will stay on the 3rd one.
and recipients are lined up.
It's an awesome idea. You know, people are not working right now. You know, some people are hungry.
They are here at Infreda along Interstate 635 in Irving.
We're planning to feed 4,000 plus people who are struggling due to coronavirus.
Owner Ram Mehta got together with friends and fellow restaurant owners to get the donations together.
All these restaurants joining in was just a great, way to give back.
Hey guys, how you doing?
It is a gesture made even more noteworthy by the fact that many restaurants are among those feeling the economic impact. In fact, some of those people here for donations worked in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I lost my job, due to closing all the businesses. I was a waitress. I didn't make enough, so I don't get unemployment either.
Restaurants are hurting right now. I mean, that's the reality. I've talked to a lot of restaurants that can't pay their bills. And here's Ram, here's Sarah's Bakery, Mama Pita, that are opening up their doors and saying, you know what, we're not going to let our neighbors go hungry.
It's sad. I mean, people lost their livelihood.
Here at Infreda, this is not just a one-day event. In fact, it has always been policy, displayed right on the front door.
He actually had a sign on his door since he opened that said, if you can't afford a meal, come get it from us.
It's called humanity. So that's the least we can do. We make money, right? So to pay back, why not?
I believe the community is what made us. We are in business because of all of our patrons.
We need to all work together, and whatever you can do is important.
Irving Mayor Rick Stouffer says this is just one of many examples of local people and businesses making a difference.
And anytime we can see the business community come together and help our residents, it's always a bright spot. And it happens more than we realize.
We want to share. We're not here to hoard it. You can't take it with you.
For the business owners coming together to feed residents on this day, they look forward to opening their dining spaces again to even bigger crowds.
It's really all about just giving back to the community that'll give back to you when it's time.
Don't forget, when these customers get back on their feet, these people, they're going to support you.
Yeah, neat effort there, and Infreda hosted a similar food giveaway at its location in Plano. And it is not only people getting help. Irving Animal Services teamed up with V&A Meals on Wheels to deliver pet food to make sure dogs and cats do not go hungry. This effort got started after reps at V&A asked the city for help in meeting the needs of elderly pet owners.
When I talked to the V&A recently, I let them know that if for some reason May doesn't come through on their end, that we're going to step in and help again. So it's a nice way to assist people in our community that need us, and it was also just a highlight of why the partnership with DFW Humane Society is so valuable here in Irving.
The DFW Humane Society donated the pet items. Without question, the coronavirus is affecting everyone. I think all of us feel the stress to some degree, and sometimes it can even go to extremes and lead to domestic violence. Here to talk about that is Heather Koval, Victim Services Supervisor at the Carol Susat Family Advocacy Center, which is part of the Irving Police Department. Thank you so much for being here, Heather.
Thank you for having me.
What trends are you seeing when it comes to domestic violence?
Well, Thomas, we are still seeing domestic violence occurring in our homes in the city of Irving and across our nation. We're hearing that some locations are seeing an increase in reporting. Some of the nonprofits are having additional calls for service right now. We are seeing a consistent trend in our city of police reports being made about domestic violence occurring in people's homes. And so we are doing everything that we can to make sure that we're able to keep individuals safe and get them a good safety plan put into place and be able to move forward in a good and healthy way.
I'm sure a lot of the advice remains constant. So when is it time to call police, go to a shelter, or otherwise seek help?
So we certainly want an individual to call the police if they are being threatened, if they are being assaulted, if they are fearful of someone living in their home, then that is certainly a time that we want them to call the police and have them come out there. One of our big concerns right now is a lot of times individuals don't call the police until they're prompted to by a family member or friend, and with social distancing and individuals not going into work and those types of things, they may not have that individual to encourage them to call. So we really want individuals individuals to know if you are being threatened, if you are being assaulted, it's really important that you call the police. There are additional resources if an individual is not at a place that they can call the police or that they feel safe doing so. There are emergency shelters. There is the National Domestic Violence Hotline that's 24/7. That individuals can call and talk to about their options and resources and what other things they might be able to do.
And even when cases do not escalate to violence, there can be increased stress and anxiety within families during this time. What advice do you have for those more day-to-day challenges?
Absolutely. You know, I recently was observing a webinar by one of the leading experts in trauma, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, and he was talking about the conditions that exist right now with COVID-19 have a lot of the same elements of a traumatic experience. We currently are in a situation where there's a lack of predictability. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know how long this is going to last, the severity of the long-term impacts. There's so many elements of the unknown. You know, when we're in a situation where we see a threat, a natural human response is to fight or to flee. We're kind of in a situation right now where we don't have those options. We're waiting to figure out what to do next, and a lot of that is not up to us. We have a lack of control in that situation. Some of the other things that are currently existing for a lot of individuals right now is that lack of connection. We are built for connection, and we don't have that right now. We are sheltering in place, we are staying in our residence, and so that is a compounding factor. And then that lack of safety. We don't know where the threat is. People who seem healthy could be carriers of the virus, and so we don't really know where the threat is all the time. So all of those factors together really put us in a situation of feeling that we're in crisis. And so it's important that families have that conversation about how everybody's doing and what's going on. And there's some really simple things that we can do to help address this. This isn't a simple issue by any means, but little things like having a routine. You know, all of us have our schedules turned upside down, but having a routine, having a time that you're getting up, a time that you're having breakfast, and having that routine set becomes really important to being able to manage your day and to manage what's going on. Having things that you can look forward to, scheduling a family Zoom meeting that you're going to meet up with all of your family members, or through any of those tele services, or having a family pajama night that you watch. That's one of the things that my family does is we have a pajama party on Friday nights. We either make or order pizza and watch a movie. But those are things that you can look forward to and know, okay, well, when Friday comes, we're going to do this, and it's going to be special and it's going to be fun. So that can be really important as well. Making sure that you're limiting your access to the news. Almost every news story is about what's going on right now, and that can continue to escalate individuals' anxiety, depression, fear, all those kinds of things. So I'm not saying don't watch the news, but maybe select, I'm only going to watch this news channel at this time, so that you're not constantly being inundated. I heard someone talking about that people are doom scrolling on their tablets or on their phones and just seeing all the bad things that are happening and how detrimental that can be to our mental health. And then the last things are just making sure that you are eating healthy, that you're drinking plenty of water. That becomes really important. You know, our bodies heal with those kinds of things. Exercise becomes really important, and making sure that you're taking time to breathe. A lot of times when we get really anxious, it's hard to stop and breathe. So making sure that you're taking that time to keep yourself healthy physically and mentally. Everything works together. So we have to keep our physical health well, and that helps with our mental and emotional health as well.
Some good ideas there, everything from the practical to the fun pajama parties.
Do it, yeah.
Let's look at the broader topic of mental health. What impacts do you anticipate, and what help is available?
Sure. Well, you know, I'm certainly hearing about mental health concerns that are arising specifically from COVID-19. And I'm really so impressed by mental health providers and the steps that they've been taking in order to accommodate clients' needs. You know, really our domestic violence resources and the mental health resources that we've had in the past have all converted to methods that they can continue to providing those acute critical care services to clients. So even in our advocacy center, telehealth services are being provided, so clients are continuing to receive services. The North Texas Behavioral Health Association has a 24/7 hotline that individuals can call if they are experiencing some issues related to the situation that's currently going on. Dallas Metro Care has a number that people can call. There are online services that have been available and continue to be available for people to receive counseling services and those kinds of things. So all of those services are currently available and being provided. So I encourage people to check with their current insurance plan and see what things are covered, if they need to contact our advocacy center and see what might be available for them or where the best place would be for them to start based on their current situation.
Heather Koval, thank you so much for sharing information on this important topic. And to reach the Carol Susat Family Advocacy Center, you can call 972-721-6560. Teams at the Family Advocacy Center, firefighters, code enforcement, and numerous others across the city continue to work during this pandemic. One local business wanted to make sure a department that is sometimes overlooked also got some recognition. Check it out.
We have some breakfast for you guys.
Oh, thank you very much. As much as our hotels are challenged right now, we had one of our hotels, the Best Western DFW Airport Plus, reach out and say we'd like to do something for some of the city's frontline workers. What can we do?
We are feeding our sanitation department. We're trying to support our Irving community.
I think it's great. I think it's something the guys will really appreciate.
Oh, this is great. No, this is a great thing for all the people that are doing this for us. Yeah, thank you.
They've had their crew in the hotel since about 3 o'clock this morning.
It was an early morning. Everybody who's back at the property, they're waiting to hear from us to see how everything went. We're just trying to stay positive just as everybody else is. This is something also to keep our staff busy. And there's no better feeling than to give back and to know that we're all in this together.
It's an extraordinary time, but I think you see in so many ways, big and small, the heart of what this industry is about, what this community is about. And these guys have been here in the community for a very long time.
Good did they have, a free buffet today?
This is just what you see hospitality people doing what they've always done.
As far as solid waste is concerned, I think folks do realize it's essential. Everyone needs their trash to be collected and disposed of properly.
When you're a local government, there's very little you do that isn't essential. That's why you're there. So you think about certainly our solid waste services, our water folks, our traffic folks, our police, our fire, all of those things. You guys are still out here working every day. Our work mode might have changed, but we're all still working. And I think everybody, the entire 2,000 plus city employees, are doing their best every day to continue to serve this community.
You've gotten all those waves, those thank yous. How does that make you feel when you see all these people?
Oh, so excited. They're already talking about when are we going to do this again. So it's great.
Yeah, and also at work, city staffers are ready to help you find answers to your questions. With questions for the city, you can call 972-721-6655 during business hours or email covid-19@cityofirving.org. Let's move on to some other news now. The next round of Road to the Future projects is underway. Our team shot this video on 2nd Street in downtown Irving just before work began to install a new asphalt overlay. This is year 3 of a 5-year project to restore Irving roads. Other streets in the area are also getting new surfaces as part of the initiative. On another transportation note, work is getting started on the Hidden Ridge Light Rail Station on Meadow Creek Drive near Green Park Drive. It will be the 65th light rail station in the DART system. Orange Line passengers may encounter some construction activity and occasional service interruptions. The work is expected to be complete early next year. The finished station will have 136 parking spaces and 6 bus bays. DART points out that construction crews will adhere to CDC guidelines to limit exposure to COVID-19. And with that, it's time for our Pets of the Week, so let's get a virtual visit to the Animal Care Campus.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Pets of the Week. I'm Brett Wheeler, joined via Zoom by Michael Whiteside. And Michael, who do you have there?
This handsome little cutie pie is named Cade. He is about 2 months old. He's so sweet, but he is a puppy we took in about I believe it was a litter of 13 puppies. Cade was one of those 13. All of them were adopted this past weekend, but then the people that adopted Cade had also adopted another puppy, and they sort of had unrealistic expectations about having just one puppy, so 2 was a little too much for them. So they brought Cade back, so he is available for adoption right now. He's so sweet and adorable, and like I said, he's only about 2 months old, so he's ready to be a cuddle bug for somebody.
And that's a really good point, because when people see puppies, I think the first thing they think of is, how cute they are, and they don't really think about all the work that goes into it. What are some good tips when you are interested in adopting a puppy? What should you be looking for?
Puppies are adorable, but a lot of people don't realize they are a lot of work. If you want to take a puppy, you really need to think about, do you have enough time to work with them and train them? You also need to watch out when they start, teething a lot. Make sure that you can train them on what's appropriate to chew on and what's not appropriate to chew on. It's really important to keep that in mind. As cute as they are, it is going to be a lot of work for quite a few months after you get a puppy home.
All right, Michael, up next we have Luna. Tell me about Luna.
Luna is a very special girl. She's about 4 years old. She's a yellow lab mix. She was adopted from us a few years ago and then returned about 2 weeks ago. The reason they were returning her is because they said that she was showing some aggression towards any other animal. Looking at her, you wouldn't know that. She's actually a really sweet dog. She's very friendly. She loves people. She doesn't really like other animals much. So that's, going to be a concern, obviously, but she's sweet with people. She's just going to need some extra attention and make sure that somebody's able to control her well, and possibly work on some behavioral training to get her to not be so aggressive towards other animals.
All right, Michael, up next we have a bonded pair, Brutus and Pearl. Tell me about them.
Brutus and Pearl are just an amazing couple of dogs. They are about 4.5 years old. It's a male and a female. And Brutus and Pearl were both adopted from us when they were puppies. They were 2 months old. They were from the same litter. And the owner, about 2 to 3 months ago, ran into some issues where they were not able to afford to keep both of them. And just watching Brutus and Pearl, you can tell how much they were loved, because they're amazingly sweet and well-mannered dogs. They get along with each other. They don't mind other pets. They really feed off of each other and really enjoy being around each other. So they are a bonded pair and are going to have to go home together. They're so sweet. They're so smart. And they're very low-key and laid back. So it's not really going to be an issue to take on these two and give them a good home together.
Now, Michael, there are a ton of great pets at the Irving Animal Care Campus, and I know that some of the pets are a little more special needs than others. You guys had a pet named Wolf come in, and he needed a surgery, is that correct?
When he came into the shelter, they believe he was probably hit by a car. Both of his hips were damaged. With our Guardian Angel Fund, we were able to rescue him and get him to a vet to get surgery that he needed. And he actually had surgery on both hips. And, his surgery was about $2,500. So we're still working on, collecting that money. Obviously, the surgery has been done. He's recovered and doing really well. But we, need to keep that Guardian Angel Fund as full as possible so that we can continue to rescue pets, like Wolf.
And if you're looking to help in that way, please go to dfwhumane.com and help donate to the Guardian Angel Fund. Back to you, Thomas.
All right, thanks, guys. The best way to adopt right now is to call the Animal Care Campus and make arrangements to meet. DFW Humane Society's number is 972-721-7788. For Irving Animal Services, call 972-721-2256. Also, you can check out the websites on your screen. In these tough times for the hospitality industry, the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau is still finding some colorful and creative ways to mark National Travel and Tourism Week. See how next time on City Source. Also, we'll show you 2 new trail projects in Irving that are just about complete. One has the added benefit of shade. That story and all of the COVID-19 updates next time on City Source. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. And find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/The City of Irving. Subscribe and you can get notifications when we upload new videos. That's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.